What if I told you that the way you start 99% of your conversations is secretly sabotaging your prosperity? That the most common greeting in our language, "Hi, how are you?" is a subconscious invitation to mediocrity, a quiet command for your mind to accept a reality that is merely fine. This seemingly harmless phrase is a mental virus that programs you for the average, the acceptable, the just enough to get by. Every time you utter it, you are casting a spell of contentment with the status quo, reinforcing a vibrational state that repels true abundance. It is not an act of connection, but an unconscious pact with limitation. We believe it is polite, but it is a subtle poison to our potential, a script handed to us by a world that thrives on the predictable and the ordinary, not the magnificent. This is not about being rude or socially awkward. It is about becoming conscious of the immense creative power you wield with your tongue. For within the void left by this empty pleasantry lies a secret key, a linguistic technology understood by ancient mystics and titans of industry alike. In the next few minutes, I will not offer you a simple alternative phrase. I will deliver to you a decree, a three-word utterance that is not a question, but a statement of power. It is an activation code that shifts your energetic frequency from one of passive inquiry to one of active creation. It transforms every handshake, every phone call, every simple hello into a deliberate and potent act of manifesting wealth, influence, and a life of profound purpose. A truth so simple yet so powerful that it has been hidden in plain sight. Prepare yourself, because what I'm about to share will fundamentally alter how you engage with the world. This is the moment you stop asking reality for permission and start giving it instructions. These three words are not just a tool for communication. They are the seal of a king, a stamp that authenticates your divine authority over your own experience. They are the words that signal to your subconscious mind and to the universe itself that you are no longer available for a life of just okay. You are now stepping into your role as the deliberate architect of your destiny. The age of passive hope is over. The time to command your reality with every word you speak begins now. Think back to the last time you said the words, "I'm fine. How are you?" Be truly honest with yourself in this quiet moment. Did you mean it? Or was it an automatic reflex, a mask worn to conceal the truth of your inner world? Did you feel the subtle tightening in your chest, the silent hum of anxiety about the bill that's due, the uncertainty of the future, the dream that feels like it's gathering dust on a shelf in your soul? This small, seemingly insignificant exchange is a microcosm of a larger problem. It is a moment of profound disconnection, where the words leaving your lips are a betrayal of the reality living within you, a reality that is yearning for something more, something greater than just being fine. You know this feeling well. It is the sensation of being invisible in a world that seems to listen only to the loud and the certain. It is the experience of offering an idea in a meeting, only to have it ignored until someone else says the exact same thing and is praised for their insight. It is that quiet frustration that builds when your words, which carry the weight of your experience and wisdom, seem to dissolve before they can make an impact. This isn't a lack of intelligence or a lack of value on your part. It is the direct result of a lifetime of programming that taught you to ask for permission to exist, rather than to announce your presence with the authority that is your birthright. And this feeling of invisibility carries a heavy price tag, one that shows up directly on your bank statement. It manifests as the missed promotion, the client who hesitated and went elsewhere, the business partnership that never quite materialized. Your communication is your energetic signature in the marketplace. When you project a frequency of passivity and uncertainty with your most basic interactions, you are telling the world of commerce that you are not a player of consequence. You are signaling that you are willing to accept the leftovers, the good enough, while others who speak with command are given the keys to the kingdom. Your financial stagnation is not a reflection of your worth, but a direct reflection of the powerlessness in your words. Do you recognize that silent, gnawing thought that often visits you in the dead of night when the distractions of the day have faded? That quiet voice that whispers, "Is this truly all there is for me?" It is the ache of untapped potential, the deep and sacred sorrow for the life you know, on a soul level, you were meant to live. It is the dream of freedom, of impact, of true abundance that seems to mock you from a distance. And that polite, reflexive phrase, "I'm doing okay," becomes the very lullaby you use to soothe that divine discontent, to gently put your greatest aspirations back to sleep for another day, hoping that tomorrow something will magically change without you having to change your command. This little phrase, repeated 10,000 times, becomes the persistent, hypnotic soundtrack of your stagnation. It is the mundane theme music for a life lived perpetually in the waiting room of destiny. It meticulously programs your vast and powerful subconscious mind to seek and accept only what is necessary for survival, trimming away any desire for thriving as if it were an extravagance. Your soul, a force of infinite expansion and cosmic power, cries out for abundance, for joy, for a legacy of meaning, but your mouth keeps it locked in a prison of just getting by. You have been using your most powerful tool of creation to build a fortress of limitation around yourself, and you've been calling it politeness. This erosion of power extends beyond your career and finances. It permeates the sacred halls of your own home. Imagine the subtle pain of seeing your own family, your partner or your children, hear your words but not truly listen. You offer advice born from love and experience, yet it is dismissed. You share a dream, and it is met with placating nods. This happens because the energetic pattern of passivity does not recognize titles like parent, spouse, or leader. The universe, and the people in it, respond to certainty. They respond to a clear frequency of command. By defaulting to the language of the spectator, you have unintentionally taught those closest to you that your words are merely suggestions, not declarations worthy of deep respect and attention. It all culminates in that profoundly draining and wearying sensation that life is something that happens to you, not for you, and most certainly not by you. You follow the rules. You are a good person. You work hard and wait your turn, but the grand rewards, the deep sense of fulfillment, always seem to be reserved for others. This is the exhaustion that comes from playing a game without knowing the most fundamental rule. Your words are not passive descriptors of your world. They are active, vibrational commands that are constantly shaping it. You have been trying to win a battle of creation using the language of a spectator, and the weariness you feel is the surrender of your spirit to this flawed strategy. But that frustration you feel, that ache for more, that is not a sign of your failure. It is the urgent, beautiful, and undeniable proof of your power trying to awaken. It is your soul refusing to accept the mediocre script you have been handed. This discontent is a sacred signal that you are ready to remember who you are. It is the catalyst that has brought you here to this very moment, to finally unlearn the language of limitation and to master the divine grammar of creation. You are not broken. You are simply on the verge of a profound and magnificent awakening to the power that has been resting on your tongue all along. We have been carefully and meticulously trained, from our very first words, to follow a code of social conduct designed for survival, not for sovereignty. The directive was simple: be pleasant, be agreeable, and above all, do not disrupt the delicate balance of social harmony. Asking "how are you" became the cornerstone of this programming, an empty ritual performed to signal non-aggression. But this advice, while well-intentioned, is the map to the land of mediocrity. It is a script designed to help you blend in, to be accepted by the flock, but it inherently suffocates the lion's roar of your creative spirit. The true enemy we are facing is not a person or a system. It is this invisible, hypnotic script of politeness that has convinced you that your power lies in being pleasing rather than in being potent. This flawed script keeps you trapped on what I call the path of effort. On this path, you are taught that the only way to achieve more is to do more, to struggle harder, to push against the unyielding wall of reality with brute force and sheer willpower. It is a path of exhaustion, frustration, and incremental gains, but the sages and masters of reality understood a different way, the path of alignment. On this path, you recognize that reality is not a solid object, but a responsive field of energy. It does not need to be fought, it needs to be commanded. While you have been diligently using the tools of politeness, hoping for a breakthrough, the universe has been waiting patiently for a directive, a clear signal, a sovereign decree from the creative authority that resides within you. Therefore, let us be perfectly clear about the identity of this adversary. The true opponent standing between you and a life of staggering abundance is not your background, your education, or the economy. It is your own passive communication. It is the deeply ingrained habit of using language that observes reality rather than language that creates it. Each time you default to asking how things are, you unconsciously affirm your role as a spectator, a reporter on the scene of your own life. You are acting from the outside in, reacting to circumstances. The profound shift that unlocks everything is to begin operating from the inside out, understanding that circumstances do not create your state of being. Your state of being, announced by your word, creates your circumstances. But this realization is not a New Age invention or a modern psychological trick. It is a rediscovery of a primordial truth, a sacred technology for reality creation that has been hidden in plain sight throughout human history. It is a golden thread of power woven into our most revered spiritual texts, and our most profound philosophical treatises, waiting patiently to be decoded. Think of it as a master key, an artifact of immense power that was mistaken for a mere piece of poetic literature. This key does not simply open a door to a better room, it unlocks the very control panel of the matrix of your existence, granting you access to the source code of creation. What was once seen as allegory is about to be revealed as an operational manual for the human spirit. Let us turn to the evidence, which is as old as written word itself. In the opening verses of Genesis, we are not told of a hesitant, hopeful creator. The divine did not look upon the formless void and politely inquire, "How is everything going?" No, it spoke with absolute authority. It issued a command that echoed through the emptiness and gave birth to existence itself. "Let there be light." This was not a request. It was a decree, a statement of fact spoken into being. Millennia later, after dedicating his life to studying the wealthiest and most influential figures of the modern world, Napoleon Hill echoed this very same principle. He did not call it positive thinking. He called it a definite chief aim, a purpose so intensely held and so frequently declared with faith that the subconscious mind accepts it as reality and begins to manifest it in the physical world. Here then is the pivotal truth, the point of revelation upon which your entire life can be rebuilt, starting from this very moment. The fundamental secret that separates the masters of life from the masses is this: the masters understand that their primary function is not to observe the world, but to create it through the power of their word. They know that the universe does not respond to questions about its current state, but to declarations about its future state. The profound error of humanity is to constantly ask, "Is everything all right?" and thus receive an ever-changing, uncertain answer. The sacred wisdom of the enlightened is to stand firm in their inner authority and decree what reality they command to be. You were not born to ask, you were born to ordain. Let us now decode the sacred technology you have been given. The power of this three-word decree begins with the first and most important word in any spiritual language, the word I. This is not the small, fearful, egoic I that is identified with your name, your job, or your history of failures and successes. This is the capital I, the I am, that was spoken to Moses from the burning bush. It is the name of God. It is the recognition that the spark of the universal creative intelligence resides within you. When you begin your decree with I, you are not speaking as a limited human being. You are speaking from the center of your power, as a direct extension of the creative source of all that is. You are claiming your divine lineage. The second word is decree. Pay close attention to the weight of this term. You are not wishing, you are not hoping, you are not asking or requesting. You are issuing a decree. A wish is a powerless plea to an outside force. A hope is a passive desire with no energy behind it. A request implies that someone else has the power to grant or deny your petition. But a decree is a non-negotiable, binding, and official order issued by a sovereign authority. It is the language of kings, queens, and creators. When you use the word decree, you are stepping out of the role of the beggar and into the throne of your own reality. You are informing the universe that the debate is over, a decision has been made. And the third word we shall use as our template for power is abundance. Understand that abundance is not merely a pile of money. That is a limited, third-dimensional view of a cosmic principle. Abundance is the natural state of the universe. It is the endless ocean of well-being, health, creativity, opportunity, love, and joy. It is the unimpeded flow of divine energy in all aspects of your life. Scarcity is an illusion, a lie created by the fearful ego. By decreeing abundance, you are not trying to attract something you do not have. You are commanding your reality to align with the fundamental truth of what you already are and what the universe is, an infinite, overflowing, and benevolent source of all good. Now we assemble these words into a staff of power. I decree abundance. Feel the resonance of this statement. It is a complete circuit of creative energy. The I identifies the source of power, your divine self. The word decree specifies the action, an issuance of a binding command, and abundance names the reality that must now conform to your command. This is not an affirmation that you repeat hoping it will become true. It is a declaration of a truth that already exists in the spiritual realm, and you are now commanding it to manifest in the physical. It is an act of remembering your function as a co-creator, aligning your personal will with the universal will, which is always for expansion and fullness. Let us use a metaphor to anchor this. For years, you have been behaving like a king who wanders his own kingdom in disguise, asking his subjects, "How are things in the kingdom?" and accepting their limited, fearful reports as truth. You have forgotten your own power. To decree, I decree abundance, is to cast off the disguise, ascend to your throne, and issue a royal edict that organizes the entire kingdom toward prosperity and order. It is the seal of the king that validates the command. Your word is the seal. You are no longer asking about reality. You are authenticating the new reality with the power of your spoken decree. The primary application of this principle is an internal shift that must precede every single one of your interactions. Before you walk into a room, before you answer the phone, before you speak to your partner, take one single conscious breath. In that silence, do not think the words, but feel the reality of them. Feel your identity as the I am. Recognize that you are not merely a person entering a situation. You are a field of creative consciousness, an active agent of reality. This is not something you do. It is a state of being you must consciously and deliberately occupy. You are no longer a thermometer, reflecting the temperature of the room. You are the thermostat, setting it. When you practice this internal alignment, you will notice something miraculous. Your presence begins to speak for you. People will feel a shift in your energy before you even utter a word. There is a weight, a gravity, a centeredness about a person who knows who they are. Your silence will become more powerful and command more respect than your old passive greetings ever could. You move from being an observer, hoping for a good outcome, to being the cause of the outcome itself. This is the true meaning of becoming an active agent in your own life. You are the source of the ripple, no longer the leaf being tossed about by the waves created by others. Contrast the feeling of this new state with the old. Remember the slight hesitation before speaking, the subtle energy of seeking approval or connection when you would ask, "How are you?" It was an energy of leaning forward, of needing something from the other person. Now feel the state of embodying your decree. It is an energy of being rooted, grounded, and centered in your own power. You are not seeking energy, you are radiating it. You become a source of certainty and stability in a world of flux. Conversations and interactions will begin to revolve around you, not because of ego, but because a field of order is inherently attractive to the chaos of the unawakened mind. Initially, your ego may resist this. It may tell you that this is arrogant or delusional. This is to be expected. The ego, your small self, is terrified of its own dissolution into the vastness of the I am. It will fight to maintain its identity based on limitation and past stories. You must understand that this is not arrogance. Arrogance is the ego trying to puff itself up. This is alignment. This is the humble acceptance of the immense creative power that has been bestowed upon you. It is your sacred duty to claim it and use it. To refuse this power is the true act of cosmic irresponsibility. You are simply agreeing with the truth of your existence. So the first principle is a profound act of remembrance. Your decree, I decree abundance, is the tool for this remembrance. It is the daily, hourly, and momentary practice of reclaiming your forgotten identity. You are not trying to become someone you are not. You are simply ceasing to pretend that you are less than who you have always been. You are a divine creator, a sovereign in your own reality, and the time has come to speak the language of your native country, the language of absolute creative command. This is the foundation upon which your new world will be built, the physics of decree, the vibration of the word. Now we move from identity to action, from the metaphysical to the physical. You must understand that your words are not merely abstract symbols. Every word you speak is a physical event. It is a wave of energy, a vibration that you release into the quantum field. The universe, at its most fundamental level, is not made of solid matter but of vibrating energy. Therefore, your words are not just describing your reality. They are literally interacting with the energetic substance of reality itself, instructing it on how to behave. This is not spiritual poetry. This is a forgotten science. Consider the ancient wisdom found in Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. This is not a metaphor for positive and negative attitudes. It is a literal statement of vibrational physics. With every word you speak, you are either affirming life, expansion, and abundance, or you are affirming death, contraction, and lack. Your words are constantly building your world or dismantling it. They are seeds of creation or seeds of decay. For years you have been unconsciously wielding this immense power, often to your own detriment, by speaking the language of limitation and survival. Let us analyze the frequency of the old programming. The phrase, "Hi, how are you?" sends out a weak, incoherent, and ambiguous vibration. It is a frequency of uncertainty and passivity. It creates gentle, chaotic ripples in the field, but it carries no clear instruction, no potent signal for the law of attraction to lock onto. It is energetic static. The universe, which responds only to clarity and coherence, cannot decipher your intent from such a signal. It's like trying to tune a radio to a station that is broadcasting nothing but noise. You receive back exactly what you send out, an ambiguous, uncertain, and mediocre reality. Now contrast this with the frequency of your decree. I decree abundance. This is a powerful, coherent, and high-amplitude signal. It is a laser beam of intention, not a scattered light bulb. The frequency is one of certainty, of command, of unwavering faith. This clear, powerful vibration cuts through the noise of the collective consciousness and provides the universe with a precise, energetic blueprint. The law of attraction, which states that like attracts like, now has a powerful, unambiguous signal to match. It begins to draw to you circumstances, people, and resources that vibrate at the exact same frequency as your decree. Think of it this way. The quantum field contains the potential for every possible reality, like an infinite number of unstruck tuning forks. Your words are the act of striking one of these forks. When you ask, "How are you?" it's like a weak, muffled tap that fails to produce a clear tone. But when you declare, "I decree abundance," it is like striking the corresponding tuning fork with perfect force and clarity. It begins to ring with a powerful, pure tone, and by the law of sympathetic resonance, every other tuning fork of abundance in the universe begins to vibrate along with it, drawing those harmonious experiences directly into your life. To master this principle, you must make it a physical practice. The application is a morning ritual of energetic attunement. Upon waking, before your mind is contaminated with the doubts of the day, stand in front of a mirror, look deep into your own eyes, the windows to your soul. Take a breath and speak your 3-word decree aloud. Do not just say the words, project them, announce them, command them. Do this not once but 3 times, each time with more conviction, feeling the vibration resonate in your body. This is you setting your dominant frequency for the day. As you perform this ritual, focus on the physical sensation. Feel the vibration of the words in your throat. Feel the resonance in the cavity of your chest, near your heart center. This is crucial. You are turning a mental concept into a felt, physical reality. You are informing the cells of your body of your new command. This practice bridges the gap between the unseen and the seen. You are literally tuning your physical instrument, your body, to the frequency of abundance. Feel the emotional shift that accompanies it, the surge of power, the sense of peace, the quiet confidence that settles within you. This practice is the embodiment of Napoleon Hill's great secret, autosuggestion, combined with emotion. Hill knew that mere repetition of words was not enough. The words had to be charged with faith, with feeling, with emotion. That emotion is the juice, the magnetic energy that transforms a simple thought into a powerful, attractive force. Your morning ritual of speaking your decree aloud while feeling its power is the most effective way to infuse your command with the emotional charge necessary to impress it upon your subconscious mind and upon the fabric of the universe. Now you must carry this newly tuned frequency with you throughout your entire day. Think of yourself as a walking broadcasting tower. When you feel your energy begin to wane, when a challenge appears, or when you fall back into old patterns of thought, pause, take a breath, and silently, within the temple of your own mind, repeat your decree. Feel that immediate recalibration. Feel your energetic field strengthen and purify. You are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. You are the constant, stable, high-frequency signal that causes circumstances to align with your command. To summarize this second principle, you are a being of energy, and your words are the primary tool you use to direct that energy. You can no longer afford the luxury of careless, unconscious speech. Your old habit of passive communication was broadcasting a signal of static and lack. Your new practice of deliberate decree is your clear, powerful, and coherent broadcast to the cosmos. You are informing the universe with the undeniable physics of vibration of the reality you are now available for, and the universe, by its own laws, must respond in kind. The reprogramming of the subconscious, the habit of wealth. Finally, we arrive at the mechanism that makes this transformation permanent, the reprogramming of your subconscious mind. Think of your subconscious as a vast, powerful, and utterly faithful servant. It is the autopilot that runs approximately 95% of your life, your habits, your automatic reactions, your deeply held beliefs. It does not think, reason, or judge. It simply and perfectly executes the programs it has been given. Your life, as you experience it right now, is a printout of the programs currently running in your subconscious. For decades, you have been unintentionally installing a faulty program. Every time you used passive language, every time you asked, "How are you, Ed?" while feeling lack, every time you said, "I'm fine," when you were not, you were reinforcing a deep neural pathway in your brain. You were writing and rewriting a subconscious script that says, "I am a passive observer. I am limited. My reality is defined by external circumstances. I survive, I do not thrive. Your life has been running on this autopilot of mediocrity, and you have been wondering why you never reach the destination of your dreams. Your three-word decree, I decree abundance, is the new master line of code that you will now use to overwrite the old faulty programming. The key to this installation process is repetition, disciplined, conscious, and relentless repetition. Every single time you choose to think your decree instead of your old passive greeting, you are doing something profound within your brain. You are weakening the old neural pathway and strengthening a new one. This is the science of neuroplasticity. You are literally rewiring your brain, creating a new habit of wealth that will eventually become as automatic as the old habit of lack was. Let us use the metaphor of a garden. Your subconscious mind is an infinitely fertile garden. For years, without knowing, you have been allowing the seeds of weeds, doubt, passivity, fear to be scattered and to grow unchecked. The act of speaking your decree is the conscious, deliberate act of planting a new and powerful seed, the seed of sovereign abundance. And the act of repeating it is the act of watering that seed, giving it sunlight, and pulling the surrounding weeds until its roots grow so deep and its stalk so strong that it becomes the dominant presence in the garden of your mind. A crucial function of your subconscious is to filter your perception of reality through a system known as the reticular activating system. This system's job is to find evidence in your external world to validate your internal beliefs and programs. When your dominant program is I am struggling, your mind will diligently filter your reality to show you only evidence of struggle, making opportunities for abundance completely invisible to you. They could be right in front of your face, but your brain, following its programming, will literally not allow you to perceive them. This is where the magic of reprogramming begins. As you persistently install the new program, I decree abundance, you are giving a new command to your internal filtering system. You are ordering your subconscious to begin actively searching for and highlighting any and all evidence that proves your decree is true. Suddenly, you will start to notice things you never noticed before. A business opportunity in a casual conversation, a forgotten skill that can now be monetized, a person who appears with the exact answer you needed. The world hasn't changed. Your perception, guided by your new program, has. To make this practical and to accelerate the process, I want you to undertake a 21-day challenge. For the next 21 days, make a sacred contract with yourself. Every time you are about to greet someone, every time you feel the impulse to use your old passive language, you will pause. In that pause, you will silently and powerfully state your decree to yourself. This is your primary act. The outer words you speak to the other person become secondary. This challenge is the focused effort required to carve the new groove deep into your mind. During this 21-day period, you must also become a conscious observer of the feedback. Keep a journal, and every evening write down all the synchronicities, the lucky breaks, the strange and wonderful coincidences that occurred during your day. Note the new ideas that came to you, the unexpected phone calls, the money that appeared from an unforeseen source. This act of recording the evidence is critical. It proves to your logical mind that the new program is working, which reduces resistance and accelerates the complete acceptance of the decree by your subconscious. A common question is, what do I actually say to people if I'm not asking how they are? The answer is that your external words will begin to change automatically, guided by your new internal state. You might find yourself saying, "It is wonderful to see you," or if asked how you are, you might respond with a genuine, "I am feeling magnificent today." The exact words are less important than the powerful, centered, and abundant energy from which they now flow. The goal is to make your internal decree the cause and your external communication the effect. In summary, this final principle is about taking conscious control of your own mental programming. You are not a victim of your conditioning unless you choose to be. Your decree is the tool, and repetition is the method by which you become the master programmer of your subconscious mind. You are not hoping for a change. You are systematically and deliberately building the neurological architecture for a new reality. You are moving from being a creature of habit to being the creator of your habits. This is the path to lasting, automatic, and effortless abundance. Now, I ask you to close your eyes for just a moment and step into the future that is waiting for your command. Imagine walking into any room, and instead of the old familiar feeling of hoping to be noticed, you are met with a palpable sense of your own presence. You are a field of calm certainty, a center of gravity in a world of chaos. Your silence is felt. Your energy commands respect before your lips even part. You no longer seek validation from the glances of others, for you are so deeply anchored in the truth of your own creative power that your validation comes from within. This is not arrogance. This is the quiet, unshakable confidence of a master. Picture your conversations. They are no longer hollow rituals of social obligation, but potent exchanges of creative energy. When you speak, your words land with purpose and weight, planting seeds of opportunity in the minds of those who listen. The ideas that once went unheard now inspire action. The people you meet are not just random encounters. They become divine appointments, drawn to you by the clear signal of abundance you are now broadcasting. Every interaction, from a talk with a loved one to a negotiation with a client, becomes a deliberate act of co-creation, weaving the tapestry of your magnificent life, thread by intentional thread. This transformation is not limited to a feeling of confidence. It manifests in the very fabric of your physical world. Visualize the bank account that is no longer a source of anxiety, but a reflection of your inner state of infinite supply and flow. See yourself in the career or business that is not just a job, but the full expression of your soul's purpose, where you are valued and rewarded for your unique genius. Feel the vitality and health coursing through your body, the natural result of living in a high-frequency, aligned state. The outer world is but a mirror, and you have finally learned how to command the reflection. The memory of your old life, the one defined by quiet frustration and the feeling of being perpetually overlooked, will begin to fade. It will seem like a story you once read about a different person. You will look back and realize with breathtaking clarity that the world did not change. You did. The circumstances did not magically improve. You simply stopped giving them power over you. You shifted the locus of control from the outside in to the inside out. You stopped asking the world for permission and began giving it new instructions, and by cosmic law it had no choice but to reorganize itself around your new command. Therefore, the great transformation does not begin tomorrow morning with your new ritual. It does not start after you have practiced for a week. It begins in this exact, sacred and holy instant. It begins with a single, conscious, and sovereign decision. It is the decision to let go of the script of mediocrity that you were handed. It is the choice to stop being a spectator in the gallery of your own existence and to walk onto the stage, pick up the author's pen, and write a new ending. This decision, made now in the depths of your soul, is the tremor that will shake the foundations of your old reality. This is not a call to click a button or subscribe to a channel. This is a call to a much deeper and more sacred commitment. It is a call to take this truth from the realm of intellectual understanding and anchor it in the temple of your own heart. Meditate on these words. Feel the resonance of your personal decree. I decree abundance, vibrating in every cell of your being. Feel the immense dormant power that has been resting on your tongue your entire life, waiting for this very moment of awakening. This moment where you finally grant it permission to be released. The power you have been seeking in the world was never truly there. It was not in a lottery ticket, not in a promotion, not in the approval of another person. It has always been within you, a sleeping giant residing in the power of your word. It has been waiting for you to have the courage to stand up, to cast off the rags of the beggar, and to speak with the authority of the creator you were born to be. Embrace this power now, without apology, without hesitation. Understand that it is your divine birthright, and begin to wield it with your very next breath. From this day forward, let this be your new covenant, the sacred and unbreakable law by which you live. You will no longer navigate your life as a passive questioner, but as a conscious commander. You will stand at the center of your experience, not as a victim of its whims, but as the deliberate architect of its design. For you now understand the ultimate secret, the operating principle of all creation, a truth you will carry with you for all your days. I do not ask what reality is, I decree what it shall be.